has published numerous research papers in various journals and conferences. He has many patents in his credit. His dedication to his career is further evidenced by awards and fellowships. Additionally, his professional journey is marked by significant contributions to both academia and industry through various teaching roles and research projects. So, sir, we are looking forward to hear you, your insights on ethics in artificial intelligence today. Please join me in welcoming sir today for today's session. So now I request sir to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words, ma'am, and very good introduction. Thank you so much. So just may I know that how many participants are there, and are they joining online or offline?
Offline, all are offline.
Okay, okay, all are available there offline. That's great. Fine, fine. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. So, and most of the participants are faculty members or students also?
All are faculty members.
Okay, great. So, just let me share my screen. So, I hope, ma'am, my slides are visible.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. So, of course, first of all, I welcome you all in this session. And the theme or the topic that we are going to discuss here is about ethics in artificial intelligence. Because as all of us know that now artificial intelligence is the new era that is going to change the socio-political, socio-economic, and even now we are talking that it is going to change the dimensions of socio-technical scenario. So what are the things, or we can say aspects related to ethics in artificial intelligence? Because as per the rapid growth and advancement in artificial intelligence, there are some few things that we have to take care, and we have to just analyze all the aspects that should be taken care as ethics in artificial intelligence. So once again, I welcome you all. I am Dr. Rizwan Alam, Assistant Professor at Amity Institute of Information Technology at Amity University, Rajasthan. So let me go to my next slide. So of course, first we will have the introductory idea that what are the foundation principles of AI ethics, and then what are mainly the challenges like bias, privacy, accountability, and transparency that we want to achieve under this dimension of ethics in AI. And we will, of course, have some case studies that will cover the scenarios that highlight ethical dilemmas in AI nowadays we are facing. And some frameworks that we already have. Even there are so many summits and conferences are going on. Even our Prime Minister Modi ji also attended last week a summit in France. I hope all of you will be knowing, it was in news. So those frameworks or global standards that we have as guidelines for responsible AI development or ethical AI development, we can say. And what are the societal impacts, how we and our society is going to impact, and what are the real world examples that we have already faced. And finally, of course, what are the proposing strategies or recommendations that we should take care whenever we are going to use any AI application. So what should be the ethical AI practices, whether we are at the development side or we are just simply the user. So that also we have to define at this point of time, or we have to fix, or we should at least be aware with all those things. So I hope I am clearly audible and my slides are also visible to all the participants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So for introductory idea, I would like to start with the quote of Stephen Hawking that the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. So the race in which we want to be ahead or we want to be the first, so that race may be ended by this full artificial intelligence. Even it is artificial intelligence, but few pioneers in computer science and all, they claim that it can uh, overcome the competencies and the characteristics of real intelligence. But that is in debate, so we are not going to be in that debate. Let's come to the ethics in artificial intelligence. It means what actually we mean by artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, and especially ethical artificial intelligence, actually we are talking about the artificial intelligence. We are going to achieve these 6 parameters, 5 to 6 parameters in anything that involve artificial intelligence. First one is transparency. So what do we mean by transparency? That whatever decisions or AI outputs we are getting, so that should be understandable to us also. That why this robot has taken this decision, why this stocks, for example, if we are going to use some AI algorithm for a stock prediction, so why it is suggesting to invest in that particular stock. So what is the reason behind this? It should be understandable, interpretable, we can say, and explainable AI. And fairness also, as we know that most of the artificial intelligence models depend on the training data. And if there is some bias in training data, then of course that will reflect in the outputs that we are going through artificial models also. So fairness means avoiding biases and discrimination. Okay, that may be from the time of the training and all those phases. Next thing is privacy. That are we going to protect that user's personal data or any copyright data? So that is also an issue nowadays. Very much it was in news that for few recently launched AI models by OpenAI and all, that there was some copyright infringement of the news articles, that it was in the search results or it was in the results of provided by the chat GPT, but there was no source or no reference that this news has been taken from that particular news agency or news portal. So that are the issues that are now in debate. So privacy is one of the main concern. Next one is accountability. So if there is any issue, any harm, then who will be any harm, and that harm or that hazardous effects is going to be caused by the artificial intelligence application. Then who will be the responsible? The developer of that artificial intelligence application, or the user of that artificial intelligence application, or that particular artificial intelligence model. So who will be accountable? So that also now we have to ensure, like for example, if we are using any driverless car, autonomous vehicle, and there will be some traffic rule violation. So who will bear the charges? The owner of the car, or that AI model, or the company who is facilitating that AI model for that autonomous car. So these are the issues now nowadays in debate. Next thing is safety. That AI must not cause harm. So how we are going to ensure a safe artificial intelligence dimension, that it is not going to harm the human being, or the any issues that can cause any disharmony or even communal harmony, or any this type of events or attacks that may affect our overall society or as human being. Next thing is human control. It means how AI should enhance, not replace human decision making. That it is because some pioneers claim that with the advancement and rapid growth in artificial intelligence, it may be possible that AI will take control and AI will be making decisions. So at that time, it will be very difficult that AI may take that type of decision that may kill the whole human being or species. So that may also be one of the hazardous, but all these things are in debate nowadays. So there is no any, we can say, very hard and fast frameworks that claim that it is going to be happen in next 5 years or 10 years, or how close we are to these type of things. So in ethics, in artificial intelligence, because ethics may be a topic of, we can say, philosophy. But here we are going to restrict our discussion, restrict our session only that how we are going to ensure ethical practices and ethics in artificial intelligence domain. So what are core ethical challenges in AI? So that nowadays, or in few last 5 years or 10 years, what we have faced, that these are the common issues that we are going to face in AI applications. First one is biasness. So bias means we can say orientation or a particular decision if it is going to take, but it is oriented to some particular class, it is oriented to particular gender. So these type of things may happen because of the biases at the training time. So if, as we know, that AI models are taking decisions on the basis of the training data, and if there is any bias in training data, then of course we are going to have in the output of that AI application also. So AI can perpetuate existing biases leading to discrimination. So we have so many cases also that we will see. Then privacy risk, as I told, that related to the privacy of the personal data and other security concerns. Then who will be accountable for any decision taken by the AI application, and how we are going to make our AI models transparent. So these things are, we can say, ethical challenges. So in biasness, that bias actually occurs when an algorithm produces discriminatory or unfair outcomes, okay? And that can be caused by historical bias in data. It may be due to the design of that algorithm that we are going to use in that AI application. And it may be due to the lack of diversity and lack of diversity at the time of AI development, or in terms of training data also. Like for example, if we are going to take the data of patients, okay, for 1000 patients, okay, for training any AI model. But all 1000 or the training data patients we have taken that are from European countries. And that model, if we will try to implement or to predict that disease in especially Asian countries, so there may be a bias that they will be having little bit different health issues, health factors and all those things that may not be fit for Asian countries people. So that is a type of bias, okay? And it may be possible that if we are going to train our model where we are going to take the managers or for any particular position, and most of the position holders are male members, okay? So that model may be biased due to the lack of diversity that we have in our training data. So this type of things are already in debate, and what can be the solutions? So we have to ensure the diversity in training data and inclusivity also in AI development. Like as we all of us know that most of the popular AI models are going to be developed in the companies or organizations that are based on Silicon Valley. But they are going to be used for African countries also, Asian countries also. So that also we have to make it inclusive, that the data or the AI development team should be very much inclusive. So that things can be a solution for tackling this biasness issue. Next we come to privacy risk. So AI collects and analyzes vast amounts of data. That may be a personal data, and that may be a risk. So excessive data collection and lack of user content and data breaches, like we are submitting some data for another purpose, but that data is going to be used for some analytics model. So that comes under data breaches, and we are going to provide some data for some official purposes, but that is going to be used to provide us some offers or loans and all those things that you can see nowadays very common, that our mobile number or other details are going to be provided to the loan providing companies or organizations from bank, and now they are calling us for getting loans and all those things. So those issues are there whenever that data will be provided or fed to any AI model, then it will be the issue or the aspect related to privacy. And what can be the solutions? So the first thing is that we should move for the AI models that actually that can work very well on minimum data. Okay, because nowadays we are talking about large language models and all those things, but of course that needs a large amount of data also. So now it is the time to develop the models that can work on less data, like we have the concept of transfer learning. Okay, so in transfer learning, what we do, that we are going to train our model on some large available data, but we are going to use it on some small data set. So this type of techniques and all those things will come into picture. And user transparency, that if user is providing any detail, so it should be very much clear that where your data or details can be used, on to which organizations or for which purposes your data can be forwarded or to be shared. So these things we have to take care to tackle this issue, that is privacy risks. Next is accountability. So whatever that we can say harm or hazardous effects are going to be caused by that AI model or AI application, so who will be responsible? So AI decision can impact even lives of people. So, but who is responsible for those errors if there is any error or error is going to occur in that AI model? So the causes are that many models lack transparency, because nowadays if you will see that most of the projects claim that we have 99% accuracy, 98% accuracy, but where is the transparency that how this accuracy has been achieved? So it's unclear who is liable for AI mistakes. And if we are using in a AI application, like for any stock prediction, and we invested our crores of rupees or lakhs of rupees on that stock, and we lost that amount due to the ups and downs in share market, then who will be responsible? Who will be liable for that AI mistake? And AI acts without direct human oversight. So that also think that can we talk about any intermingling of the AI expertise and human expertise? So all those things we can talk. So these may be the causes. And in solutions, we can talk about that making AI decision understandable, that AI application is suggesting to invest in that particular stock, and reasons are that, like for last 5 years, last 10 years, this was the history of that particular stock or particular share. So making AI decisions more understandable. For example, if we are using any AI model to predict a particular disease as per the symptoms of a particular patient, and it has been diagnosed that yes, this disease may be present in that patient. So what are the factors that is going to be taken into account for guessing that or predicting that disease in that particular patient? So making those AI decisions understandable, that may be the solution. For that, we have to use the available tools and techniques, like we have for AI models, like interpretable or explainable AI models like SHAP, LIME, and all those graphs and tools are we have nowadays. And even many more we have to develop. And regularly check AI systems for errors and biases, because it may be, there may be an issue that that error has not been diagnosed till now, or has not been encountered till now, but in future it may be, or nowadays. So at particular after particular time interval, that should be checked for errors and biases also, to make it an accountable AI system. For transparency, of course, AI systems often make complex decisions that are difficult to interpret. As we know that in most of the AI models, we are using neural networks and deep learning models, but how they are going to make these decisions, even for people from computer science background, or the people who are from data science and all those things, they are not very much clear about that, how this has been predicted, or how that model or deep learning model is working actually. Because that is the, of course, a large and vast calculation of weights and biases, and so many layers are there, so many neurons are there. So how they are going to be calculated, those complex AI models, are the reasons for lack of transparency in our AI applications. So, and lack of documentation also, that how this has been developed. So here I would like to mention the case that most of the open AI models, whether it was GPT-2, GPT-4, even O1, so lack of documentation, that how they train, how it is working. So this was lacking, but recently that model launched by DeepSeek, so they have clearly documented their training process and what the procedure and approaches they have applied for training with limited GPU resources and all those things. So lack of documentation is also one of the issue. So that we can see that DeepSeek model was in news recently, that they have published the paper, they have open sources, the open source their complete model. So these are the issues. And of course, there are some trade secrets that if they will make it public, then they can't expect so much high investment and all those things. So there are some trade secrets also that comes under the geopolitical and geotechnical issues that are also in debate. So that are the, we can say, causes, but of course we have to also explore the solutions, like developing interpretable AI. It means AI models where we can interpret that why it is going to predict this thing, and how that model has been developed, and how that model is calculating something, how that model is working actually. And providing AI explanations also, that if that particular output has been generated by that AI model or AI application, so explaining that model, that how it has generated that output. So all these things are under the domain of ethical AI or ethics in AI, we can say. Next, few case studies I'm going to take here, like French government's algorithm to detect welfare fraud. They have actually used this algorithm. So in 2010, that CNAF in France has employed an algorithm to identify that potential welfare fraud, that if any person is getting welfare funds from more than one sources or not. So this system actually analyzes personal data to assign risk scores also, and indicating the likelihood of individuals receiving incorrect welfare payments. Like if that particular individual or citizen is not eligible for that welfare payment, for that stipend, but he is or she is getting that payment. So to for that fraud detection, they have used this. and higher risk scores can lead to intrusive investigations or suspension of benefits. So if there is any high risk scores, then that can be investigated, or that can lead to suspension of benefit to that particular individual for that welfare fund. So what were the benefits that they have implemented in France? The implements of the algorithm system offers several advantages like efficiency. So it was automated, so there was less manual intervention, and the resource allocation, like it focuses on investigative efforts on high risk cases only and potentially reducing fraud. So somehow it reduces fraud, and of course that money or that amount that government of France was saving somehow, and that can be utilized somewhere. Okay, and targeting vulnerable groups. So in that way they were also able to get and report that the single mothers and disabled individuals are disproportionately flagged as high risk and leading to unjust scrutiny. So that may be the issue, that it may be possible that somewhere that the people have been diagnosed or they have been categorized that they are they are not eligible for that welfare fund, but when they investigated they found that they are actually disabled individuals or single mother. So but it has been flagged due to by that welfare fund that they are frauds, but that may be due to the biasness. Okay, that may be due to the biasness. And the privacy concern, that extensive gathering of personal information, including sensitive data, has been labeled as massive surveillance. But there was a question that why they are doing this massive surveillance for completing this welfare fraud detection, and the issue of data protection also. So you may go through that news, and it was also that how they are going to make it understandable and contesting decisions that beneficiary so often lack insights into how risk scores are going to be determined, and making it difficult to challenge that adverse decisions. So now we will talk that till now what we have as ethical frameworks and guidelines for AI. So mainly it covers actually the necessities that we have to ensure in AI ethics framework is founding principles that will adhere to the guiding principles via technical or non-technical method, and acknowledging tension between principles especially. Then realization to implement the guiding principles, and that may be achieved via the tools suggested, or mainly human-based checklist or expert will check those points that we are going to achieve this thing or not. Then assessment to judge the ethics of an AI application through the gate and AI governance approach. So it should be in the through e-governance nowadays we are talking. So after, as nowadays we can see that government of different countries are also involved in all those things. They are launching their AI models, LLM models, and their governance is going to be handled, or AI models are going to be interfere in that governance. So now we are talking about AI governance also. And integration, that how we are going to integrate these applications, so the complete evaluation and addressing these principles throughout the life cycle of the AI application. It means from the inception, or we can say from the day 1, day 0, whenever we are going to discuss or start the discussion that we want to have this type of AI application, to the final day where we are going to deploy and use that particular AI application. So all these things we have to ensure in our AI ethics framework. And for general data protection regulations that we already have, especially in EU's and European countries and European Union countries, the GDPR is a comprehensive data protection law that we already have. Enacted by the European Union to safeguard personal data and privacy, and it applies to all organizations processing personal data of individuals within the EU, regardless of the organization's location. So if that particular country and organization comes under EU, then without the organization's locations and offices, they have to follow this GDPR regulations. And what are the key provisions and penalties in GDPR that you can see? That fines up to 4% of turnover for the organization if there is any breach of GDPR. Increased territorial scope and consent matters. So if any accessible form where users are going to provide their personal data, then consent, there should be a consent, explicit consent for providing that intelligible and easily accessible form where they are going to collect data. And that right to access and portability and breaching notification within 72 hours. So if there is any breach of their personal data, then that should be notified to the users within 72 hours. And their design should be like that should provide privacy and right to be forgotten, and entitles the data subject to have the data controller erase her personal data and potentially third parties too. That if that is not going to be used for further processing, so that should be erased from the logs of that particular application. So in such a way, they have to design their application. Mandatory data protection officer. So there should be some people, officials involved for maintaining all those things related to GDPR. Next, we have California Consumer Privacy Act, that in general going to be followed for especially California residents and all those things. Key provisions and penalties that we have for CCPA. Then we have societal implications of AI, that how our society is going to be affected, like AI generated deep fakes. Like if any video or audio, if we are getting on social media, that a particular person or any particular personality from politics or from film industry, and we are seeing seeing that particular person is involved in that video or audio if we are getting, but actually that video or audio was deep fake, and that particular person or personality was not involved in that audio or video particularly. Because nowadays we have so many AI applications and portals where we can upload the voice of a particular person or some clip of a particular person, and if we try to generate some fake video, then easily within minutes it will generate that deep fake video or audio. So these are the security implications of AI technologies that we have to ensure that how we are going to tackle. And that AI model poisoning, that in terms of that how the users of that AI model or attackers can use to influence the predictions or the outputs of that AI model. That may be in terms of injections like SQL injections and all. Nowadays we are using large language models. So for jailbreaking and all those things, attackers are using prompt injections, that they will try to get the data that it should not provide to the user, but the attackers are trying to get through the prompts, through the we can say tuning the prompts. So that prompt injection is an emerging technique that attackers are going to be used nowadays. And a model theft, phishing attacks, we already know that phishing links are there, phishing emails are there. Through that they will be asking that data, and they can use that data for any malicious purpose. So training data leakage, also data privacy concerns, as we discussed. So these are the security implications and issues that we have to take care, and now we are facing nowadays actually. So AI's influence on employment and workshop, as we know that it is very much in debate nowadays and in news that AI will be replacing many type of jobs and job roles. So that job displacement or AI driven automation is transforming industries by streamlining tasks. So that of course we should accept that AI is going to change the working mode or working style of these industries, which can lead to job displacements in sectors like manufacturing and services. So in many service-based companies, manufacturing companies and organizations, of course, it will lead to job displacement. So we should be ready for that, and creation of new roles. But at the same time, AI will foster the emergence of new professions, particularly in AI development, maintenance, and oversight, and even wherever those AI applications are going to be used. So there will be some people who will be handling and maintaining those AI applications. So of course, there will be a skill shift. The workforce will be experiencing, and even nowadays experiencing, a shift with a growing demand for advanced technical skills to collaborate effectively with AI systems. But that may create a geo-economical, socio-economical disbalance. So that we have to take care, that if our youths are not that AI savvy, tech savvy, and AI ready, then it will be a great problem. So that maybe the AI is, we can say, one of the impact on employment and workshop. So what is the public perception and trust in AI? So actually, where if they have never used, so use AI in daily lives and work. So we can say broadly it has categorized the people in three we can say groups. That people who have never used, okay, or they use AI in daily lives and work, and people who are actively understand the trend of AI, that what is going to be happen in AI, and people who are actively learn how to use AI. So these three categories nowadays we have. And if you will see the statistics, that people who never use, seldom use, and occasionally use, and often use, and always use, so these are the statistics but that has divided the public in three groups mainly, that I wanted to mention here. So impact of AI on higher education, as we all are faculty members, so we have to be ready for this influence of AI in education, whether it is at primary, secondary, or if we are in college level or university level teaching. So what will be the impact of AI on higher education? Because nowadays it is in debate that personalized learning pathways, like for each particular student, as per their learning style, as per their learning interest, there will be a learning path for that particular student. For 24/7 student support, nowadays we have intelligent systems for student support. And for all administrative and other admin works and all, we have administrative efficiency through AI, that if our college or universities are going to adopt. Then data driven insights for educators, that if we have data of previous 10 batches, that if particular student is good in some programming language, then he will be placed in this type of companies. So we can categorize, segregate, segment those students for particular placement drives. So this type of data driven insights for educators and also other stakeholders in higher education and all those things can be used. And nowadays, very, we can say quickly, popularly, they are going to be adopted by different higher education institutions. And of course, we should be ready for that to adopt and use. Impact of AI on healthcare. It will start from self-care or prevention or wellness. Then diagnosis, also for diagnostic purposes, as we know that so many instruments and AI supported applications are going to be used. Then clinical decision support systems are there, that if you will upload your report or CT scan, so it will provide you the particular report that this type of issue is there in that CT scan, and this may lead to this type of disease. And in care and delivery also, okay, and chronic care management, like if patient is in ICU and we don't have that much number of nurses or caretakers, then there will be all those systems, automatic systems through IoT sensors. It will be sensing and sending all those data. If there will be any issue, if there will be any very low BP, very low heart rate and all those things, then it will alarm and send notification to the caregivers. So this type of things are going to be impacted our daily life. So we can say that for our healthcare systems, for improving health management operations and strengthening innovation in especially healthcare sector, so it is going to be happen. But at the same time, what are the ethical issues that and what are the things that if there is any issue, any emergency, and that alarm has not been rang or that notification has not been sent by that system, then who will be responsible? So that things also we have to ensure, because that will affect the life of a person. Then some real world examples I would like to include here, that in 2016, the driver of an electric Tesla car was killed in a road accident after its autopilot mode failed to recognize an incoming lorry. So that was accident, and at that time that Tesla car was on autopilot mode. Okay, the car owner was there in that car, but it was in autopilot mode. So for that accident, who was responsible? The software AI model that was going to lead that autopilot mode, or the driver? So these are the issues nowadays in debate. This incident highlights the importance of ensuring that AI systems, particularly those used in safety critical applications, are thoroughly tested and validated. Okay, so that things we have to take care. Next incident was in 2016, I think. Microsoft AI chatbot. So Microsoft also apologizes for that, that it was after joining Twitter, the comments was following some racism and sexism. And this example illustrates the risk of AI generated bias, because it may be due to that bias in training data, and the need for developers to prioritize that fairness and inclusivity in their designs. So developers also have to take care that if we are going to that training data, that should be so much diverse that they have taken samples from different sections or different sectors and different gender for different genders. If that is people data, person data, then that have to be ensured by the developers of that AI models. So next we will explore the framework for trustworthy AI, that how we can make it trustworthy. So first thing is that related to making it private, the trustworthy AI requires data protection, restricted access and controlled outputs. Transparency we have to ensure, users choice should be there that they want to share their data or not, and some feedback mechanism or channel should be there in that AI application. We have also to ensure that that AI application is safe and secure. AI application must be resilient, transparent and accountable also, with adversarial training, redundancy and strong governance throughout its life cycle. So from the day 0 to the final day, it should be ensured. Then robust and reliable, it means trustworthy AI must be consistent, reliable, scalable and secure against malicious manipulations. That if attackers are going to trying to do some attack, then how it is going to be to handle all those things. So it should be tested properly. Then fair and impartial. So as I told, that training data and unbiasedness in data, that has to be ensured. Transparent and explainable, that how that prediction is going to be made, that should be transparent and explainable to the user also. So AI confidence needs flaw detection, bias checks, audits and drift monitoring through output modeling, decision tracing or continuous monitoring and oversight. So responsible and accountable trusted AI requires human accountability, clear responsibility and corrective mechanisms for system behavior and issues. That in this particular case, who will be responsible? The developer of AI model, user of AI model, or that particular AI model itself. So those things have to be clearly defined, that framework should ensure. So in privacy and data protection in AI, that AI systems rely heavily on data. Data means training data, raising critical concerns about privacy, privacy of the people from where that data has been collected, and data protection also, that if data has been collected, it is not going to be shared for other purposes. If user has been shared for some official purpose, then it should not be shared for marketing activities and other promotional activities. So the collection, storage and use of personal data must be governed by strict ethical guidelines and regulations, ensuring user content anonymization or techniques like the name and all those details should not be disclosed in that data of particular person, and secure data handling practices are essential to mitigate privacy risk. So these are the things that we have to ensure in data security, user consent and transparency. These three things we can say we have to ensure. In accountability and responsibility, that developers at the time of designing that AI system and deployers who are going to deploy that data for ensuring responsible implementation and monitoring of AI system, and for users, as most of the people are users of that AI application. So they should be aware, they should understand the limitation and potential impacts of AI systems. In transparency, at the time of data input, the understanding the data used to train AI algorithms, and algorithms that should be explaining that how that algorithm is processing that data, and at the time of output, it should provide clear explanations that how this decision has been made by that AI model. So I'm just taking the main points under these dimensions of ethical AI framework. So we can say that is an example where all these things may come in terms of ethical AI framework, like for facial recognition misuse. Like in most of the technologies or applications that use facial recognition system for opening that app or portal. So facial recognition technology actually poses risk of misuse, especially in surveillance and law enforcement, that you are using that app and for opening that app you are using facial recognition, but actually that can be used for surveillance. So to prevent this, strict regulations are needed, including clear guidelines for data handling, oversight mechanism and rigorous bias testing to ensure fairness and accountability. And for some apps, we in general tick that camera can be used, location can be used. So all those data can be used for surveillance and other things. So that has to be taken care. In terms of algorithmic description, data bias, that it should address the biases in training data. In algorithm design, implement fairness-aware algorithms and ethical oversights to ensure actually accountability and preventing discrimination that we have already discussed. And of AI Act and IEEE guidelines for AI ethics. So that is, we can see a standard guideline till now we have. Even a few other summits and conferences are going to be occurred, and recently last week it has been already organized, and in future also few governments and organizations are collaborating and working on that. So as per the IEEE guideline for AI ethics, that provide a comprehensive set of ethical principles and what are the recommendations for AI practitioners. So these guidelines address a wide range of ethical consideration, including human well-being, accountability, transparency, and data privacy. So these things are at the main concern. They serve as a valuable resource for promoting ethical AI practices worldwide. So we can say that is a standard guideline till now we have. And then we have UNESCO recommendations also, but that is not a particular standard guideline. These are only recommendations on AI ethics. So UNESCO also recommends AI ethics for global framework for promoting ethical AI development and deployment, and recommendations covered a wide range of ethical considerations, including data governance, algorithm transparency, and the protection of vulnerable groups. They call for international cooperation and multi-stakeholder engagement to address the ethical challenges of AI. But the main challenge is that if that particular organization is going to be controlled by particular government of a particular country, then if those countries are not in collaboration, then we can't expect that those recommendations and those guidelines will be followed for the application going to be developed by those organizations. So that is a practical challenge that is in debate nowadays. So societal impacts of AI ethics, as we have already discussed these things, that job displacement, inequality, and social norms. So these are the few other points that we have related to job displacement, security concerns like autonomous weapons, we can say, cyber security threats now we are having, that is AI powered malware and phishing attacks. So AI models will be continuously sending you malware attacks and phishing attacks. So at that time, it is very difficult to handle, because if people are handling some human being is involved, then it can be handled up to a level. But AI models are going to be handled, then it is very difficult, because AI model will train itself that for this type of malware it has been rejected, so it will update the code of that malware and then again send it. So these are the issues that is going to be very complex in future. And autonomous weapons also, that AI controlled weapons raises concern about unintended consequences and ethical dilemmas. Data breaches, as we have already discussed, that compromising for sensitive or personal data. Then we have about AI and human rights also, that privacy right, freedom of expression, non-discrimination, and due process, like for providing individuals with the right to challenge AI-driven decision. Like for any decision has been made by AI driven, so where that has to be challenged in legal courts or in that organizational legal system or legal department. So these are the issues that we have to talk about nowadays. Then what are the corporate social responsibility or corporate responsibility in AI? That we can say a call to action. So corporations that are mainly involved in developing and deploying AI systems, like we know as Google, Meta, and OpenAI, also DeepSeek, and all these type of major player, we can say, they have a responsibility to ensure their products are ethical and safe and beneficial to society. So, and it should not be like a disclaimer or we can say only to be written on the home page of their website. That should be from the time of the inception to the final date, and it should be reflected in their outputs of their AI model. So this includes conducting thorough ethical impact assessments, prioritizing transparency and accountability, and engaging with the stakeholders to address concerns and promote responsible AI development. So companies should adopt ethical AI frameworks. So of course, there are frameworks, and that has to be followed and adopted for their development process. Okay. And so guiding innovation, like innovation should not also be hampered or should not be stopped just in the name of the principles and guidelines of ethical AI design. So it should also prosper. It should also promote that innovation in AI. So that also we have to make a balance. So that key ethical AI design principles include ensuring fairness, avoiding bias, promoting transparency, explainability. All those things we have to try to inculcate in our AI models. But at the same time, we have to nurture that innovation in AI, that we are getting more and more AI models and more advanced AI models, we should say. And at the same time, by ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability in AI models. So that also should be balanced. So towards equity and all those things, I'm going to skip. I will share this slide so you may go through. There are so many other points and things we have. Transparency and explainable AI solutions, as we already discussed. Legal and regulatory measures, it means but that will depend on the laws and regulatory measures that is going to be adopted by particular government, particular country. So that is the thing that we have to actually take care. And there are over 100 countries that have laws in AI in works or already on the books. And there are 5 common ethical principles in AI, including transparency, justice and fairness, non-maleficence, responsibility, and privacy. But the issue is that if there is some legal, we can say, section or legal law in some country, but that should be matched with the laws that we have in other countries for ethical AI. So that may be also a challenge, that if AI models are going to be used globally, like AI model has been developed in Silicon Valley and users are from African countries and Indian countries and even in Arab countries where rules are more strict, then how you are going to match all those things, that this will be comes under that section or not, this will come under for that law and jurisprudence action or not. So that is a challenge nowadays. AI in healthcare I have discussed. So these are the few more we can say aspects, especially for ethical AI, that maybe the role of AI in healthcare. There are some statistics and data that what do patients think about AI in healthcare, because whenever patients are going to be disclosed that your operation will be done by a robot, your diagnosis has been done by an AI model. So there was we can say reluctance in acceptability also. So 27% for report by AIPRM, 27% reported that this was for American patients, that it would not make much difference, and 33% told that it was worse, and 38% told that it was better. So there are so many Gartners and AIRPM reports and data that you may go through. But of course, for tackling a large population, especially the countries like India, we have to adopt these AI-based healthcare systems and AI-based applications in a healthcare to provide a proper and advanced healthcare infrastructure, and to cater all those experts like doctors and nurses, the lack of doctors and nurses. So we can cater all those things also, so up to some percent. So in that sense, but there we have to ensure that all the ethical practices are going to be followed wherever we are going to use AI applications, especially in healthcare. Similarly, we have ethical concerns in AI and criminal justice, like predictive policing and facial recognition, sentencing algorithms. For developers also, developers bear the responsibility of designing and implementing AI systems with ethical considerations in mind. For policymakers, they play a crucial role in establishing regulatory frameworks that govern the development and deployment of AI. So at the same time, we have to ensure all the standards of ethical AI like privacy, transparency, and all those things. And at the same time, we have to promote innovation also in AI models. And for end users, they must be aware of the capabilities and limitations also of AI systems and critically evaluate their impact on society. So for this report, especially, an OSF Healthcare partnered with Fabric to implement CLAIRE, an AI-powered virtual care navigating assistant. So through this assistant, patient can directly getting support and self-service care options 24/7. So this streamlined patient access to clinical and non-clinical resources while reducing especially that call center volume that patients are calling and asking and discussing their issues. So if you will see the results, that 1 in 10 patients interacted with CLAIRE, highlighting its impacts on patient experience. CLAIRE empowers patients with instant access to healthcare resources, said Jennifer Junis, SVP of Digital Health, OSF on call. So in results, we can say that $1.2 million in contact center savings So that was the saving. So we can also take this as the savings in terms of in monetary terms, and also that at the if at in night 2 p.m. 2 a.m. 3 a.m. if some patient requires some help or something to ask, okay, and he or she can't go to a clinic and doctor or is not available in nearby, then that can be a marvelous service. And until and unless that is a critical situation and it has to be immediately run to the hospital and all, simply few suggestions you want for some symptoms and all those things, okay. So that can be care, of course, with this type of healthcare systems. And Levi-Strauss leverages AI. So Levi-Strauss was that AI analytics to predict demand, ensuring the right genes, style, size. It means in data analytics and for customer segmentation and all that, which type of particular we can say item should be there in inventory to make data-driven decisions to increase growth and competitive advantage, and for creating smarter demand plans and supply chains. So these are so many case studies are there that they have applied, adopted and benefited. So now we can say that what can be the future of AI ethics and emerging trends and challenges of AI ethics, not only AI, because AI challenges and trends may be so many things, but at the same time, if we are talking about what may be the emerging trends and challenges in AI ethics, then we will need stronger AI regulations, and that should be collaborated at global level, global policies ensuring fairness and accountability. Then bias-free and transparent AI, that explainable models with diverse and unbiased data. Privacy-preserving AI, that secure techniques like federated learning we have to just to ensure the private data of the user and privacy of the user also. Human-centered AI, that to support human roles rather than replacing them, okay, that human being will be more acceptable to that AI application. And it is not only in the race of producing a better AI model, but racing for an AI model for social good, that it is going to help our society, that ethical AI in healthcare, climate action and accessibility. So the real issues that our society is facing, if we are going to develop AI applications, AI models for those issues, addressing those issues, that will come under AI for social good, and that should be promoted. Corporate AI ethics, that AI, that organizations who are involved in development and deployment of AI models, that AI audits and dedicated ethics teams should be there for maintaining all those guidelines, following all those guidelines and following all those recommendations that will ensure the ethical AI development. So in conclusions, again, I would like to highlight the transformative potential of AI. Of course, AI is revolutionizing different sectors, enhancing efficiency and productivity. In any sector, you can say healthcare, education, e-commerce and all those things, that we have to accept and that we should be ready. But at the same time, there are some ethical and social challenges, that AI integration raises concerns about bias, privacy, job displacement, necessitating proactive measures and guidelines and recommendations. And at that time, we also need robust laws and guidelines as regulatory frameworks and some standards, like I mentioned that IEEE standard we have. And of course, it will not be a we can say individual effort. It will be a collaborative effort, and it should be a globally collaborative effort that policymakers, technologists and society, as a user or as a developer, okay, or as a sponsor, so all have to come in on the same platform and must collaborate to harness AI's benefits while mitigating its risks. So AI benefits should also harnessed, should also nurtured, that different AI models should be developed, but at the same time, we have to take care of its risk also to make it ethical artificial intelligence or AI applications. So these are the references that I have taken for preparing these slides. But I will share this PPT or slide for your reference, so you may go through. So I have highlighted, and of course this session was only to sensitize that ethical considerations or also should be taken care from the day zero whenever we are talking to develop some AI application. And even as a faculty or teacher, if we are going to assign a project to our student, then also we have to take care that for those applications, if we can do something to make it interpretable, explainable, or what AI ethical considerations should be taken care if we are going to assign a project for disease prediction, for a climate change prediction, or air quality index prediction. So what other things should be taken care, even if that student is not going to implement in that project, we should suggest them to go through the ethical challenges for this type of project and what should be taken care, so that when they will be going to industry and in organization in their jobs and internships, so at that time they will not be violating and they will be familiar with all those things and they can suggest those ethical considerations at the time of development of AI applications. So this was all from my side. If you have any query, any suggestion, so that feel free to ask.